In the quiet farmlands of rural Lee County, Illinois, a community still carries the weight of an unsolved tragedy. On a cold January morning in 1996, a beloved special education teacher failed to arrive at school. What her concerned co-workers discovered that day would launch one of the area's most extensive investigations, one that continues to this day. This is the story of Amy Todd Fleming, a 25-year-old teacher whose life was cut tragically short, and the decades-long search for answers that has never ceased. Born July 22, 1970, to Stanley Todd and Sue Dalen in Shabbona, Illinois, Amy was the eldest of 3 siblings. She embodied the very best of small-town America, hard-working, caring, and deeply connected to her community. Growing up on a farm, Amy developed a love for the outdoors and agriculture that would shape her entire life. She was active in 4-H and FFA, played basketball and volleyball, and worked as a waitress at the local country kitchen. Her father, Stanley Todd, would later recall with fondness how she was Daddy's little girl, who even enjoyed mowing the lawn and working in the garden. After graduating from Shabbona schools, Amy pursued her education at Kishwaukee College before earning her bachelor's degree in early education from Northern Illinois University in December 1993. On July 1, 1994, she married Derek Fleming, a childhood friend with whom she had once competed against in cattle shows. At Indian Creek School District 425, Amy found her calling as a special education teacher. She went above and beyond her classroom duties, serving on the high school's Ag Advisory Board and coaching girls basketball and volleyball. But it was perhaps in the small everyday moments that Amy's true character shined brightest. Her sister, Sherry Newman, remembers Amy's love for baking, how she would spend each Christmas making cookies for family, friends, and the elderly in their community. It was this generosity of spirit that made her beloved by all who knew her. January 10th, 1996 seemed like any other winter evening in Lee County. Amy's husband, Derek, was away at an out-of-state cattle show. At approximately 8:30 p.m., Amy spoke with a family member by phone. It would be the last time anyone heard her voice. When Amy failed to arrive at school the next morning, January 11th, her absence immediately raised concerns. Claudia Hicks, who worked in the school office handling substitute teacher assignments, knew something was wrong when she couldn't reach Amy by phone. Hicks, who would later become mayor of Shabbona, was among those who made the devastating discovery at Amy's home off Route 30. By 9:30 a.m., their worst fears were confirmed. Amy had been strangled in her own home. The response was immediate and massive. 8 different police agencies joined forces, contributing over 2,000 man-hours to the investigation. The Illinois State Police conducted both ground and aerial searches, even utilizing a plane donated by a local resident. The FBI joined local law enforcement agencies from Boone, Lee, DeKalb, Ogle, Stevenson, Whiteside, and Winnebago counties. More than 500 interviews were conducted, generating enough evidence to fill the majority of the Lee County Sheriff's Department's major case evidence room. Several peculiar aspects of the crime puzzled investigators. A quasar microwave and a sharp VCR were taken from the house, but Amy's purse was untouched, leading police to believe the robbery was staged. Investigators came to believe that Amy likely knew her killer well enough to let them into her home. In late January 1996, an anonymous letter writer began corresponding with the Lee County Sheriff's Department. The writer claimed intimate knowledge of the murder circumstances, and police described the letters as very helpful. Despite offers of confidentiality, the writer never came forward for a personal interview. The community's response to Amy's murder demonstrated the deep impact she had made on so many lives. A $25,000 reward was raised for information leading to the arrest and conviction of her killer. When the case remained unsolved, this money was used to establish the Amy Todd Fleming Memorial Fund in 1998, benefiting special needs children in the Indian Creek School District, ensuring that Amy's legacy of caring for others would continue. Lee County Sheriff John Simonton has refused to classify this as a cold case, insisting that it will be continuously worked. New technologies in fingerprint and DNA analysis have brought fresh possibilities to the investigation. As DeKalb County Sheriff Roger Scott noted, it's likely that someone besides the killer has information about Amy's murder. For Amy's family, the passing years have brought both grief and determination. Her mother, Sue Darlin, expressed the frustration of having more questions than answers after all these years. Yet her father, Stanley Todd, found some peace in a dream where Amy assured him she was okay. Today, Amy Todd Fleming would be 53 years old. She never got to bake cookies with her nieces and nephews, never got to see her special education students grow up, never got to grow old with her husband on their farm. But her story reminds us that justice has no expiration date. As Lee County Chief Deputy David Glessner, who was a patrol deputy at the crime scene in 1996, said, "I think about the case every day. For Amy's family, for her community, and for justice itself, the search for answers continues." If you have any information about Amy Todd Fleming's murder, no matter how small it might seem, please contact the Lee County Sheriff's Department. Sometimes the smallest detail can be the key that unlocks a decades-old mystery.